Hello, my name is Kimberly, and this is my channel, The Amazing Kimmeth. Today, we are going over False Gods by Graham McNeill. So grab yourself a cup of recaf or amasec, and let's get into this book. And as always, I have down in the description links for you to grab this book to read for yourself. This is the second book in the Horus Heresy. The first book is Horus Rising. I do suggest you read Horus Rising before you read False Gods. This book starts with Horus and the guys going to one of Davin's moon. This moon has been pacified and colonized for the Imperium. However, the Space Marine that was set to preside over this moon and keep it in order is starting to betray. Eugene Temba is leading this rebellion, and once the Space Marines get to Davin, they realize that it is in a state of decay. It is boggy, it stinks, even for the Astartes with their armor and their awesome air purifiers. There's something wrong with this planet. It is rotting. Horus finds Temba, and it doesn't go very well. What Horus sees, it completely changes him, and he receives a wound that is severe, even for a Space Marine. With the fighting that happens, though, Horus does get a pretty sweet sword. Erebus of the Word Bearers tell the Mournival group that there is a way to save Horus, there is a way to help him end this grievous injury that he has received, but there's a catch. He doesn't tell the Mournival group the whole truth, but he tells them part of the truth with rituals and superstition. And remember, this is 30K when everyone is just believing in science and reason, not folk tales, not magic, not the glory of the Emperor and his divine presence. That doesn't exist yet. It's just science and hard truth. So Horus has to go through this interesting purification ritual behind locked doors. Horus, as he's in this state of not alive, not dead, he's in a world in between. He has seen so many strange things in this strange realm, and he's given half-truths by all sorts of creatures. And he's also shown possible futures that may or may not come to pass. But unbeknownst to him, these are all creatures of the warp. They don't lie to you, they just manipulate. Horus comes back healed, but everyone around him can see how changed he is, and to some folks, there's treachery afoot. There's also another side story going on with the Remembrancers. We have Euphrates Keeler. She is a Remembrancer who's handing out pamphlets, which kind of remind me of like Bible tracts that you can find, and it's about worshiping the Emperor. It gets a movement going, and it starts to attract attention. She and an iterator, Cinderman, they end up finding a book, reading it aloud, and like most horror movies where we've seen, we're reading certain books aloud, it summons a demon. Horus openly declares war on technocracy. He is out to get the STCs, which is the Standard Template Construct machines. Having this technology and having these machines on their side will help them wage war for the Imperium. And the battle doesn't go well for the technocracy armies. No spoilers, but it's a lot of blood, a lot of action. It's a good, fun part of the book. And then we cut back to the Remembrancers. Ignace Carcasi from the first book, he is handing out pamphlets as well. However, he does not paint the Space Marines in a positive light, and it ruffles some feathers and it gets a lot of people upset. However, it is a truth that he is telling. And then we have Petronella Vivar. She is another Remembrancer. Horus, with his grievous wound, he thinks he's dying, and he tells Vivar his life story. He just spills his guts to her and tells her everything, and it's so moving. But unfortunately, later, he changes his mind and doesn't want her to know these things and doesn't want her to document it either. False Gods is action-packed, and it takes a very dark turn. It has a lot, it's got foreboding in it, just like the first book, Horus Rising, but this one just has the action going through it nonstop, where you're just getting so caught up and so wrapped up. And at some points, I had my jaw open, like, that that happened. They allowed that. They were cool with that. Holy cow. And then throughout the book, you can see where Loken just gets this weight, this terrible, utter weight of dread from the responsibility and the information that he's getting and what he's seeing his brothers do. This book is so much fun. I really did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to reading the next book. I think that's Galaxy in Flames. That is the third book in the Horus Heresy series. So, have you read False Gods by Graham McNeill? What did you think about it? And as always, what should I read next?